medical intuitive, self-ascension intuitive counselor, and your friend and soul connection for the next hour. So welcome, everyone. Welcome, Oneness Talk Radio Facebook, YouTube, Oneness Talk Radio. Those of you listening via podcast on Spotify or Anchor, I'm so glad to have you here. And anyone who might be in live with us right now, go ahead and you can send in any comments or questions after I introduce my guest. We would love to have a live interaction with all of you. So welcome to the middle of October and Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week. And I'm excited. I do so much talking about the light part of my name, the laughter, the self-healing. But as you know, we are all body, mind, and spirit. And it's so important to take care of our physical bodies as we continue to lift and grow. And so that with that part comes the lattes. It's the fun part. It's the part that we all enjoy is coffee. And I think as the world gets more chaotic, we probably all want a little bit more coffee. It's that, I don't know what it is. It's got memories attached to it. It's like the coffee house is the safe spot to go and run through your problems or to do your work, where you've got the music and you've got the smells and those. So there's just something about coffee that's more than just what you're drinking. It comes with a whole lot of emotional stuff that goes with it too. And so I'm excited to touch on that aspect today because my guest has actually has created through his family an acid-free coffee, which I thought was unheard of until now, and discovered it maybe a couple of months ago when I was doing the master cleanse. And so I think I have a good option that I can share with all of you for an acid-free coffee, so you can still keep your health and keep upliftment and bring something like acid-free coffee into your life. So I'm going to introduce my guest. His name is Tyler Ornstein. He first started this coffee business, believe it or not, when he was 5 years old. He used to drink coffee with his father, and it upset his father's stomach. So he asked his father if he could come up with a coffee that didn't upset his stomach. And his father happened to be a biochemist, and he went in the back and he was able to create an acid-free coffee through his roasting process. And Tyler took off on the streets with his bicycle and started selling this coffee. And now it has turned into a business. So I'm going to bring in Tyler now. Hi, Tyler. Welcome.
How are you doing? Actually, I appreciate the intro. Very, very in-depth. Unfortunately, I have to tell you that it wasn't 5, although that would be very impressive. 15.
Oh, 15. Okay.
15 years old. I did start selling popcorn when I was 8 in my troop, my Boy Scout troop, and I learned how to sell. And actually, there's a little funny story behind that. So there was this red Huffy bike, and I had this really, really wanted desire to get the red Huffy bike. And essentially, it was the grand prize. Whoever sold the most popcorn in the troop gets the red Huffy bike. And I'll never forget it because it was an objective that I wanted to follow. And that when I wanted to follow that objective, I put my mind to it. So I did everything that it was in the seller's book of Boy Scouts, and it didn't really work out. I wasn't seeing the results and the return that I was looking for. So what I did is I decided, okay, if I'm going to, I have to do this a different way. And that's what an entrepreneur really stands for, is they don't go by the norm, they go by the adject. And so I started thinking to myself, okay, if I'm going to sell popcorn, what's the best way to do that? So I went to our local grocery store and was able to put out a stand and put my popcorn samples, and people would walk up and I'd say, "Hi, would you like to try some popcorn? No. 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 Would you like to try some popcorn? No." Okay, we're not getting anywhere. So instead of me kind of going to the point where I'm going to curl up in my own little shell and feel sorry for myself, I realized that's not going to be good for anything, and that's not going to attain my goal. So I said, what am I going to do to change this? How do I make this a success and not a failure? What I did is I changed my language. I saw to myself, I've got 8, 10 SKUs meaning different varieties, that I can potentially sell. Why don't I start asking this question? Hi, what popcorn do you like? When I asked that question, I got a response, and I had the answer. The customer would then come over, I'd fill out their sales sheet, quantities, they go in their store and go on their life. Well, I didn't look at the numbers. I just looked out. The more people I can obtain, the closer I am to my goal. Numbers were submitted. Guess what? With all this hard work and energy and differentiations that I created so that I could obtain my goal, I was able to. I was the top salesman in my troop, and I earned the Red Huffy bike. So what that means to me is entrepreneurs out there that are looking to be successful, looking to want to be different or have a different change in mindset, are going to be the most successful. They're the ones that are game changing. There's the ones that are essentially the Elon Musk, the Steve Jobs, the Bill Gates. They're disruptive, and they want to change a society that has given essentially a norm. And that's where Tyler's Coffees really started. Tyler's Coffees was founded on an idea that people that have stomach-related issues can't drink coffee anymore. My father was one of them. My father was very smart, and he decided, well, the doctor told me I can't drink coffee anymore, but that's not an option. Off the table, not going to listen to him. How do I figure out how to drink coffee still? Well, we found out that it was tannic and lipid acids that caused the havoc in the GI tract. And by not blooming the tannic and lipid acids, we were able to yield a neutral pH, and he was able to drink coffee.
So I love that. I have to share how I came across your coffee. So I was going through a process where a little bit of out of balance in my body, some kidney issues, some pancreas issues, blood sugar. And so I had to go on an alkaline diet completely. And so my entire diet was alkaline, except for coffee. Coffee was the only thing I wasn't wanting to give up. But yet I was noticing I have a machine where
you sound like a customer.
Yeah, I have a machine where I can track the alkalinity of my body. I use it on clients.
Very cool.
Very
cool.
Yes.
Very cool.
And so I was still coming up acidic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is the only thing I'm doing acidic is the coffee. So I've got to give it up. And I'm like, I can't give it up. My show is Light, Laughter, and Lattes. So anyways, I know from the past, anytime I go on a master cleanse, and I don't know if you know what that is, but it's just lemons and water, cayenne pepper, and maple syrup for 10 to how many ever days you want to do it.
Wait, you don't eat?
No food. Nope.
Holy moly. Okay, I knew what a cleanse was. I didn't know it was that rigorous. Wow. Holy shit.
This is my favorite one, and it is. And after you do it for at least 2 weeks, you can change almost any habit or pattern you have. Your senses become very, very keen.
You got to be extremely hungry.
Sugar, well, I'll tell you what, like carrots are the best thing you've ever had, or broccoli. I mean, this stuff has a whole new added flavor to it because you've had nothing for 14 days.
So essentially what you're going off of is the human body can sustain by just essentially liquid diet for 7 days.
Right. Well, you're shutting your digestive system is like the biggest energy robber of your body. And as soon as you shut your digestive system down, your body goes into self-healing mode, and you can heal very quickly. And you've got the lemons to cleanse, and you've got the water to cleanse, and then you've got the little bit of the maple syrup for your minerals that keep you going. And the cayenne pepper is a little bit to help clean things out. So it's a very, very efficient way to get the body jump started again. So I was in the middle of this thinking, oh no, I wish I could have my coffee when I came out of this, but I knew that I was having to do a switch. So I'm in Natural Grocers, and I kind of glanced down the coffee aisle, and this package that I hadn't noticed before kind of jumps out at me, but I don't take time to go over and look at it because I know I'm not doing coffee now. And so I don't go over and look at it, but I just kind of noticed it. So I came home, and a couple of days later, I get a message on my email with Tyler Ornstein acid-free coffee. And I'm like, really? There is an acid-free coffee? So I read through the information on there and looked down, and there's the picture of your coffee, the label. It was the coffee that jumped out at me at the store. It was the picture. So I'm like, well, I have to have him on my show. And so that you can, there's so many things I love about it. First, that your dad created it. And so this is what I'm having to do in the world of being vegan, being sugar-free.
Actually having some right now.
In the world of all of those things, so many of us are having to get creative with our recipes so we can eat more and do more. And so that's what your father did, basically. He said, well, I'm not going to leave coffee, but I'll just find a way to make it so that I can have it.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that so it's through a roasting process. It's not that you're adding something to it. It's not another chemical added to it. It's just
no. We never. And so there's always a misunderstanding of acid free. They think, well, if it has to be taken out, then something gets added, and it doesn't work that way. The way it is the tannin and lipid acids. Okay, those are acids that are used in photosynthesis, but they wreak havoc on our GI tract.
Mm-hmm.
Tannins are huge in wine. So people that have GERD, interstitial cystitis, leaky gut, OAB, Crohn's, colitis, the list goes on, right? They can't drink alcohol. They shouldn't drink alcohol, but they really can't drink wine because it's got an amazing amount of tannins. So the problem is when you bloom the tannic and lipid acids in the roasting process, it wreaks havoc on the GI tract. So how do you not bloom the tannic and lipid acids? That's our key factor. That is the key factor to everything.
Okay, so I like that it's just the roasting process that does it, and I also like that it's organic and fair trade. Those are things that I go after anyways, even before I discovered the acid free.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I'm wondering. I lost track of where I was going with this.
Too much lemon water.
No, it's been a while. I actually need to do that again. I lost completely track where I was going with this.
It's okay. You can ask me any question.
So you went around in your bicycle selling it. So your dad created this coffee, right? And you went around on your bicycle and you just started knocking on doors at 15?
Yes. So I took my bicycle. I took some sample packs, some individual sample packs at the time, and I got on my bike and went around the neighborhood and just knocked and rang on doorbells and said, "My name's Tyler. I'd like you to try this coffee. The only thing I ask is name and number." And it was a silver pack, and people kind of gave me this weird look of like, I don't know, kid. This is kind of sketchy. But some people didn't try it. That's fine. Some people didn't try this. That's fine. The people that did try it, though, liked it. So we went from conception to a test market to a viable product. And I'll never forget this very sweet lady. I called her. And I said, "Hi, this is Tyler. I have the one that dropped off the coffee." And she goes, "Yeah. Did you try it?" "Yeah, I really liked it a lot. Where do I get it?" "From me." "Well, how much is it?" $1. And that was the light bulb moment that this no longer is just an idea. This is now a product that can be monetized and seen as a business model or an opportunity. Mm-hmm. So fast forward 2 more years, landed our first retail location, AJ's Fine Food, who's our oldest store and our greatest store, and we still carry them. And, just we built it off of word of mouth. That was the most important thing. If you go to Amazon, if you go to Walmart, go to eBay, Jet, Wish, all these places carry Tyler's coffees. We also have other retailers that are offline, that are not on those platforms that sell Tyler's coffees. But if you go to Amazon, we have over 1,000 reviews. They're all 5-star.
Mm-hmm. It tastes to me. So I bought some right away afterwards.
Yeah.
And I've noticed, now I could be wrong on this, but it feels to me like there's more caffeine in it than.
Oh, very much so. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. So the way normal coffee is roasted, it's over roasted, so it burns off the caffeine. Think of it as octane. It just evaporates. So what do? Well, you have to powder the artificial caffeine so that people will get that kick and they get that caffeine buzz. Problem. Artificial will bring you up, but then crash you straight down. Tyler's Coffees is all natural, so it's very gradual. But the good news is when it's all natural, your body absorbs it at a better rate. And so your synapses aren't getting fried out. It's kind of just like a natural high instead of like a jittery, I'm cracked out high. Mm-hmm. Sorry, that's the best way I can explain it.
I'm thinking of college students. Boy, that's really, I never really loved coffee in college. I drank it just at finals time because I needed to stay awake. Right. But acid always burned my stomach. So I'm thinking, wow, this is perfect for those with sensitive stomachs who still want to stay up and study or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So how did you have recommendations by doctors, right?
We do. So from what I know, and I'm sure anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, that's how I learn. But from what I've realized, I know we're the world's first and only acid-free coffee. I strongly believe we are the only doctor-endorsed coffee. We're endorsed by Joseph V. DiTrolio, urologist in North America, board certified urologist in North America. Mm-hmm. And he had a study done, and this study essentially was they took a control coffee, they took our coffee, they took 20 patients, they split it right down the center, and they said, okay, we're going to have 10 patients drink Tyler's coffees for an X amount of time. We're going to have 10 patients drink brand X coffee for an X amount of time. And at the end of the study, they're supposed to take notes, and we're going to compare those notes. And it was almost 100% Tyler's coffees didn't give me any flare-ups or any issues. And 100% I could barely drink this coffee and I was in pain.
Wow. Wow, that's cool. So have there been any studies with, body alkalinity or acidity just by shifting coffee or?
Well, I know this for a fact is that alkaline diet is a very, very big segment of diets. Mm-hmm. And I'm 100% on board with alkaline diets, of course. And anyone that is trying to beat cancer or trying to prevent cancer should not ever be unalkaline. Because if you're unalkaline, you have an 80% chance. Don't take my word for it. This is through WebMD, Journal of Medicine of Harvard, Journal of Medicine of Yale. so many studies, it's not even funny. 80% chance of harboring cancerous cells if you have inflammatories in your body.
Yeah, no, it's important to be alkaline.
That's the true pandemic, by the way.
Yeah, well, along with stress. Stress over the pandemic.
Yeah. But the problem is when your body gets inflamed, it harbors cancerous cells, it will harbor bacteria, it will harbor viruses, and it will thrive. Those viruses will thrive in an inflamed body.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I was on an inflammation-free diet, which was alkaline and no grain and no sugar and know a lot of things. So yeah, people are.
It's funny because we were pescatarian, my girlfriend and I, and I used to eat whatever I want. I used to eat steaks. I used to eat burgers. I used to eat milkshakes. It was, you know, I had my fun food years, right? But the reality is I stopped going that way because I knew that if I didn't start doing it now, I would be behind the ball, and I never wanted to just pay later.
Right.
So I'd rather pay now and enjoy later. So I'm invested in my health future, right? But the point is I used to crave chocolate at the end of a meal or sweet at the end of the meal. But when I kind of cut it off cold turkey, yeah, it was very rough. It was very difficult. It was very frustrating. It was very painful mentally. But I was able to overcome that mentally. And now I don't crave those things. Actually, those things turn me off. Like, I don't want to eat those things anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's good to hear. So a pescatarian, what is that? What's the diet of that?
It's essentially it's egg, fish, and cheese.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's a little bit like Atkins.
Yeah, but there's no meat.
Oh, fish. Oh, fish. All right. Okay.
So I don't eat chicken. I don't eat beef. I don't eat lamb. I don't eat pork. I don't eat any land animal.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, so question for you about what's going on with this whole with COVID and stuff. What has this done to coffee sales? I'm guessing it boosted coffee sales. Yeah, way up. Everyone's at home.
Everyone's at home drinking coffee. You know, it's funny. We're in the second largest commodity item in the world. The only other biggest commodity item is oil. You can't consume it, but we do consume it, right? So $1.6 trillion industry. That was in 2017. So it's gone up. Well, this year it went up 15%, 15%. Now, you don't think that that's a lot. But when you take an industry that's a $1.6 trillion industry on a growth rate of 2.5% to 3% a year, it's insane.
So you're saying coffee is right behind oil?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
$1.6 trillion.
Well, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. There's as many coffee shops as there are gas stations.
Right. Right.
And I honestly think it's a lot because of what I kind of opened with. I mean, coffee isn't just coffee. It comes with a whole bunch of emotional stuff.
Yeah, it does. I mean, a lot of people...
The setting, the smell, where you were when you had the smell. I mean, I've always thought if I could just do a fun job, just that didn't mean anything, I would work in a coffee shop because you've got the great music. It always smells good. They're painted nice. They usually have art on the walls. People are happy. They're only spending $5-6. No, there's just so much emotion.
Where do you live?
I live in Boise, Idaho.
Oh, that makes sense. I was like $5-6. What are you talking about? That's like a small.
Oh yeah, I suppose. And where's Tyler's? You're out of Arizona.
We're in Arizona.
Okay.
But it's unfortunate because California is coming over in groves, and it's obviously there's a reason why it's happening. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why you would want to live in a place like that. But what's happening is because supply and demand, our cost of living is skyrocketing.
Right.
It is what it is.
So can you get your coffee at any of the coffee shops around?
No.
Have you made your way into, I know you've made your way into the store.
We don't sell the coffee shops. We tried to do that. That's an interesting industry, because when you sell coffee to coffee shops, they expect you to sell them the machines and service the machines. And we don't do that. Okay. That's a nightmare in its own. But what we do is we sell the bags of coffee. I mean, this is right here. This is the bag of coffee that I'm sure you're very used to, 12 ounces. This is commercially packaged, right? So this is ready to go on shelves. This is ready to go on e-commerce. Not really for coffee shops. When coffee shops talk, they talk 5, 10 pounds. And then we tell them pricing and they say, click. Because this is very expensive. I mean, it's a 200-step roasting process outside of USDA certified single-sourced organic coffee. We don't mix our sources, so we have, no impurities. The bag is a 4-layer mylar system. Usually normal bags are 2 mylar system. We have a degassing valve that introduces nitrogen into the coffee so that it's for freshness. We thought of everything, and the cost of doing it is what it is.
So single source, meaning you have one place that grows the coffee.
Mexico, yep.
In Mexico? Okay.
Chiapas, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, nice. Okay, so now I'm going to rewind you back. You sold your first bag of coffee for $1. Would you run home and say, Dad, this is it. I'm going to start selling coffee now. This is my new thing at 15. I'm going to move my whole direction towards being an entrepreneur?
Well, it took some more calls and some more orders. And, I remember when we were selling, my bedroom was Tyler's Coffee Central, right? So sure. I'd have a box of Tyler's coffees sitting in the left of the room, and then I would have my postage in the right of the room, and I have my little table where I put the orders together, and then I would have my mom drive me down to the mailbox and drop them off. I mean, small stuff, right? So we started online, we started building it, and then it got bigger, and we went retail. Now we move, 10,000 bags every 2 weeks.
Nice.
So it's, when you say that, was it the starting point of yes, I'm ready to do this as a full-time career and kind of forget everything? No, but I went through school, I went to college, I dropped out of college, started my company back up again because I knew I was going to make more money in college and not. And again, that's not a negative to college. I think people that want to go to college should go to college. It's very important. I am 100% on board with, the aspect of a higher learning concept. Mm-hmm. For entrepreneurs, we're a breed of crazy. There's just that negative edge, and every successful entrepreneur did the exact same, dropped out of college. It just wasn't for them. I mean, I wasn't really an academic, but I can structure a business. I can build a marketing plan. I can design operations. I can figure out supply chain logistics.
Right. So it seems to me like you're saying the entrepreneurial breed is more, they don't fit in the box. the box that's taught there. Yeah. Don't do
boxes.
you make the boxes. don't climb into them. Yeah, I can totally relate to that. The path that I'm on, which is a medical intuitive, is completely out of the box. So
Sure.
out of the box.
That's why I was interested in that. I was like, wow, that's really, really cool. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's tough to you can't, how do you market energy to people? You can't even see it, right? So it's something people have to
Well, and
experience.
it's funny because when you say how do you market energy to people, I immediately think oil, coal, natural gas, LP, propane,
Yep.
solar, wind. That
Yeah.
to me that's energy, but to you that's a whole different connotation. I get a kick out of that. That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's healing energy. It's
right.
something completely different.
Sure.
So do you have more plans for growth as far as the company, or do you think you've done what you can do and you're just gonna, you're young, I'm sure you probably have lots of ideas constantly going around.
Well, I mean, I tell my staff, I say, guys, and they kind of, I mean, I don't say this every week, but I say this probably once a month. I say, I got some great news. What's that, Tyler? Sales are up. Okay, Tyler. I got some bad news. What's that, Tyler? If sales go down, we all go down. That's it. That's my plan. It's that simple.
Just to keep sales going up?
More sales, the more sales we do every month, the happier I am.
Do you have an outlet or a way to have doctors know about your coffee? I mean, do you have something?
Oh, a lot of doctors know about our coffee.
Oh, okay.
A lot of doctors prescribe our coffee.
Okay.
We're not FDA approved or anything, so we can't you can't get a prescription of Tyler's coffees, but we have a lot of GI doctors that prescribe our coffee to their patients.
Okay, nice. And they just found out about it on their own, or did you have some kind of a campaign to get it out there?
So it goes kind of two ways there. So either they do their own research because they're in the industry and they want to know what's kind of the up and up.
Mm-hmm.
Great, awesome. Then we also have the patients that do their research because the doctor says you can't drink coffee anymore, and they're like, yeah, that ain't gonna fly. So they go and they do their research, find out, oh, Tyler's acid-free coffee. Oh, 1,000 reviews. Oh, all 5-star. Oh, I'm gonna buy it. Oh, that's amazing. Because we have an 80% retention rate on our customer base. 80 to 85, it varies. But 80 to 85% retention on our customer base. There's no other industry out there that's consumable that has that I'm aware of. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm. So the point is word of mouth is the best business you can be in because it, A, doesn't cost anything, but B, if I was going to say, hey, this product is amazing. I use this product. I like this product. This product is giving me benefits, and we're friends. There's a very high chance of you saying, I'm going to take that under consideration because he's my friend and he's not going to give me negative feedback or negative value. Mm-hmm. He's telling me something that he believes in. We're friends. I'm going to look into it. Family. I'm going to look into it. So there's a couple stories that I can tell you about. Like one story was this lady bought, was it like 24 bags of coffee? So it's expensive. We gave her a little bit of a discount, but I was curious. I was like, you're a retail customer. Why are you buying 24 bags of coffee? And she goes, well, I'm going to brew 3 bags of coffee for Thanksgiving. This was a while ago. And I'm going to, and then whoever likes the coffee, I'm just going to give them a bag for, their present. And I said, wow, that's very, very generous of you. Why in God's name would she do that if she didn't think the product was good?
Right.
So the other thing is for people that are listening to this that are wanting to start a business, please, for the love of God, don't ever listen to you. Only listen to other people. I mean, I can't stress this enough. If I told you, Geri, that my coffee is the best coffee out there. And you go, great, Tyler, good for you. See you later. But if I say, Jerry, what do you think about my coffee? And you say, oh my God, it's amazing. Then I don't need to sell anymore. And that's what entrepreneurs do, is they build businesses for themselves, but they don't build it for their customers. Well, I have great news for you. If you don't have a customers, you don't have a business.
Right. So I've got a couple fun questions for you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite way to drink your coffee?
It's called a Super Automatico. I'm not making it up. Look it up. And what it is a machine that's kind of like a Keurig, where you pull the beans in, you put the water in, you push the button, it grinds it, tamps it, extracts it, does everything. Call me lazy for that, because most people like to have their separate grinder, and they have to like have their espresso, and they like to have their portafilter, and they like to tamp it, and they like to get the right pressure, and then they like to. So there's a lot of people that have their routine with their coffee. I'm more of the person like, hey, the technology is there, just let the technology do it. But that's the best way to make my coffee is whole bean, grind, espresso.
So black, straight up black.
Absolutely straight black.
So is this?
Well, I mean, you've tried it. You've tried it. So have you tried it black?
I do a latte every single time.
Okay, we'll try it. All right. No, I know. I get it.
And I don't do dairy. I do soy lattes.
Oh, I know. I do. So I haven't drank milk in like 3 years. So I do coconut, almond, or soy.
Okay.
Or rice.
And I like to put cocoa in it because I like a mocha. So I put cacao, like an organic cacao, or actually cacao is acidic. So I had to switch over to cocoa because it's alkalized, and of course organic, and then a little bit of date syrup because that is the lowest of the natural sweeteners that won't raise blood sugar.
Really? Thank you for that insight.
Dates won't raise blood sugar, but I think partly because you're consuming the whole date, you're getting fiber. I haven't found any studies on the date syrup, but I'm assuming. I don't like the stevia so much, or the monk fruit.
No, I don't like the stevia and the monk fruit. It's got that chemical smell or chemical flavor too.
Yeah, probably better for you. But so far, I'm really good with the little bit of date syrup for the sweetener. So
the first time I tried stevia, I thought it was the pink, the cancer-causing pink sweetener.
The little package, yeah.
I was like, oh, this is disgusting.
Yeah, no, that's not it.
But I like date syrup. I'm gonna look into that. That is actually really cool. So I like, so on the weekends I'll make a latte, and I usually do coconut or I do rice. So one or the other.
Oh, okay.
My girlfriend likes almond and she likes the soy, but I'm not really a soy guy per se. Anyway, the point is, agave syrup.
Yep.
So I use agave syrup. I like agave. And then what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of agave, I'll put a little bit of rice. I have a frother, so I froth it up. And then I put it in. I do an espresso shot, and then I put a little bit of cinnamon shake on the top.
I do that too. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could drink one of your cups of coffee, like anywhere in the world, where would that be? Where would the setting be?
Where I could buy Tyler's coffee.
I mean, I'm talking about enjoyment. Like you've already got the coffee. Here's the scene. You get to go anywhere. You can transport yourself there.
So it's two places, unfortunately.
Okay, go ahead.
It's either going to be Aspen, Colorado.
Nice.
Or it's going to be Maui.
I was just there December. I hadn't discovered your coffee yet, although I did have coffee there. Nice.
We do have coffee on the island. A Matter of Health carries the brand. It's a small grocery store. There's 3 locations. I think Oahu, Kenai, and Honolulu. I don't think they're on Maui though.
Okay.
I love Maui though. Maui's beautiful.
If I had to pick a spot, I think it would be in Italy.
Italy's gorgeous too. I like
Somewhere
Italy.
in Italy, probably. That would be
I've
my.
been all over Italy. I think Italy is fantastic.
And that's part of the whole coffee thing too. I mean, if you think back to all the great places you've been, you're on a deck somewhere with a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or something like that.
Yeah.
It goes along with all those memories. So you started this at 15. Have you had a cup of coffee every single day since then?
Yeah. It's been, well, usually when I travel, I can't drink Tyler's, so I don't drink anything. But I would say this. If I'm at home, I drink coffee and it's Tyler's. I used to drink too much, right? So I used to be like, whoa, this is, and I started getting jitters and it was bad, right? So I drank about 6 to 8 espressos a day.
Wow.
And my adrenals just were shot. They were just shot. So coming off of my coffee at that magnitude, it wasn't hard, but I was getting a couple headaches. Now I drink 2 cups a day.
Okay.
Sometimes just 1 cup, but if I have time, I'll drink 2 cups. Like this is my 2nd cup.
I'm a 1 cup a day person. I've been pretty good about that. But even that 1 cup a day was enough to affect the acidity in my body. Just that 1 cup.
Have you done testing after you tried Tyler's?
Not directly afterwards, but I should do that. I mean, I test myself probably once every couple of weeks, and I've been completely alkaline, or actually not even alkaline, just neutral, balanced.
Neutral.
Yeah, but I should. I do. There's a lot of caffeine in it for me though, because I'm super sensitive. So I save it for days where I really know that.
We sell a lot of decaf for that reason.
Oh, okay.
We sell a lot of decaf because our decaf is a trifecta. We have a Swiss water process, so we don't induce any methane chloride and methane glycol for the decaffeination process. And then it's acid-free and organic.
So what you're saying is, because I know typically decaf coffee is not supposed to be that good for you because it goes through a chemical treatment to pull the caffeine out of it, right?
Methane glycol, yeah.
Okay, and so you're saying you guys don't do that?
Absolutely not.
Okay, and so how does yours become decaffeinated?
Swiss water. So the Swiss water process is a steam process, and it is a proprietary process that we don't do, but we order the coffee from the Swiss water factory, and they steam out the caffeine. So there's it's all purified water that goes through the coffee and steams out the caffeine.
That's a huge bonus. I didn't know that because
it's majorly big.
Yeah. I mean, through all the years of what I do, there's times where I am so sensitive, I can't even walk down an aisle of coffee because I get the buzz just from walking down the aisle. And so
that's a little bit too crazy.
And
so you sure? It might be subliminal.
Oh no. I'm quite positive.
I've never ever heard of someone that can walk down a coffee aisle and get high off of the caffeine.
Well, if you're super sensitive and you can feel energy, and that's what you have to be in order to be a medical intuitive, right? You have to be at that level of sensitivity to pick up imbalances in people's bodies, because you basically become the human X-ray machine. So you have to be very, very.
That's a blessing and a curse, isn't it?
It's both. You have to learn to navigate it and manage it so that it doesn't overtake you by outside stuff, energies.
Right. Well, sometimes I feel that way about my electronics that are around me.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It's important. I have things all around my electronics to have them not affect me. So there's lots of things you can do for that to not be bombarded by all the electromagnetic frequencies that come
out. And I also think because I've got EMF ahead, like above me, and sometimes I get headaches. And the thing is it's like you get to a point where you go, okay, yeah, I know this is bad for me.
Yep.
But on the other hand, come on, like, you're a dude. Don't call your landlord and say, can you please change out the lights because my EMF meter is hurting my head. Like,
I would in a New York minute.
it gets to a point where, yeah, but listen, it gets to a point where if you get way too, I'm all aboard the sensitive aspect of keeping your body alkaline and, making sure that you do the things that are good. But it gets to a point where if you start putting yourself in a level of such purification is the right word. You just can't live. You just can't live. I mean, it's just personally, right? Like personally, so sometimes I just have to like suck it up, buttercup,
I actually find the opposite of that. I found the more I purify, the better I live. So, but there's an area of navigation in between there that can be challenging, but until that point. So I want to go back a little bit to the caffeine part. So I love that you have been able to, because I avoided the caffeine on all the other coffees through the years of me, shifting in energy and everything that I was doing. Coffee was too harsh for me. Didn't want to do decaffeinated because I didn't want the chemical process they were using. So you're saying you could have the no acid and the no caffeine and still maintain a level of purity with that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, I'm gonna have to give the decaffeinated a try. I've actually passed your coffee on to a few people. I've got a few friends who are very, very much like me, into their health and sensitivity.
It's how we grow. I mean, literally, people go, "Well, what's your marketing budget?" And they go, "What do you mean 0?" I'm like, "Yeah, 0." Like, how are you moving 10,000 bags, every 2 weeks? I'm like, because people like our coffee.
Yeah, people share. They're their own testimonial. Because until now, you really couldn't say that coffee was much of a health product for you.
No.
Okay, well, is there anything else you would like to add about Tyler? I know I was given a discount for your coffee.
Yeah.
Is that
correct?
correct?
So if you go to tylerscoffees.com, that's www.tylers with an S, coffees with an S.com. Use promo code Tyler 2020, Tyler 2020. You get 20% off.
Okay, so that's awesome. I actually, when I set up the event, hopefully it's there, I put the links to your website, and I think I even put the discount code for the coffee at the bottom of it. So
awesome.
Whoever is listening to that, try the coffee out. And is there any place where people can put feedback? Do you have anything like that on any of the sites where people can review it or anything?
Yeah, absolutely. Google. You can
Google business?
Amazon. You
Okay.
can, yeah. You can go to our website and it's I think it's called reviews. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And when you go to the website, tylerscoffees.com, click on reviews, and you can see just countless reviews.
Okay, and that's good to know for people who are thinking about it, want to try it. It's always fun to read the reviews.
Yeah, why Tyler's, and then reviews, and then just start scrolling.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add or share with those who are listening or will be listening in the future?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be an entrepreneur, it's extremely exciting, but it's also extremely fearful at the same time. And I kind of end it with this: is I love people. Before COVID, I'd fly around and I'd speak, and then I'd get off stage, and people build this line just to talk to me because they were so impressed with me being at 14 years old and doing this and being so mindful about it, so driven towards it. And I tell people this, I say it's very simple. It's just so simple. The most successful people in the world, one word, that's it, one word. Most successful people in the world help. And then they monetize it.
Help, is that what you said?
So if you have a product, help, H-E-L-P.
Yeah.
So if you have a product that helps, put a dollar amount on it.
Right. Helps or heals, absolutely. Yeah. And everyone is looking for a lot of help and healing right now, for sure.
Like Apple, there was the PC and then the Apple. Well, Apple helped. And the reason why it helped is because it was the first computer that actually made sense, that actually was intuitive, not counterintuitive.
Yeah. Yep.
Elon Musk, he helped because he wants to create an electronic car that actually runs and actually is able to be used as a vehicle.
Right.
The list goes on. I mean, Jeff Bezos, love him or hate him, he's helped. He's created a platform for the biggest online retailer in the world so that small businesses can get their name out there and people will be trusting that their product is good because Amazon endorses it. Right. So the thing is when you help, it builds a business around that. So whatever you're going to do, just help.
Right.
Just put that in your number one focus mindset. I need to build a business for helping this situation in this industry, and it's going to be niched.
Right.
And put a dollar amount on it and start talking. The other thing is what really bothers me is when I hear I don't have enough money.
Mm-hmm.
I look at them and I go, neither do I. No one ever will have enough money. I could have $100 million and I'm still not going to have enough money. There is a differentiation between tenacity, desire, drive, wanting to succeed, and money. To me, money is one thing. It's a transfer of means of exchanging goods. I have a problem, here's money, fix it. I have a problem, here's money, fix it. But I don't need that for a business. It doesn't do anything for me as a business. Why don't you get out there and go to a farmer? If you're selling a food product, why don't you go out there and get a farmer's market?
Right.
And tell the farmer's market guy, hey, look, I'll make you a deal. I'll give you 10% of my earnings, or I'll give you a flat rate. I have no money. I have this product. Let me just pop a tent. I'll start selling it, and I'll give you a cut. I did that.
Right.
I would come home from the farmer's market with $400 in my pocket, and I was like, killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Took that $400 and compounded it, bought some more coffee, rolled it over, took the profit, put it aside, did the same thing. So when people say, Tyler, I got this great idea, but I don't have enough money, I go, no, you don't. But don't even think about money. Think about what are you going to do to get that product out there?
Right. And
how are you going to get that product out there?
Small steps. A lot of people think they have to go from here to here, and they make the steps too big, and you can't ever get there. So it's
it's like a good analogy would be like, well, I have a Honda Civic, but I need the money for the Ferrari. No, you don't. If you got into a Ferrari, you wouldn't know what to do with it. It would be too fast and you'd get in an accident and you'd crash it. You need to step.
Yep. And eventually.
And you can handle it. Then you can handle that power. With great power comes great responsibility.
Absolutely.
When you have a big company, I mean, we do over $1 million a year now. But can someone say, hey, Tyler, I'm going to put you into your business at 30 years old at 20?
Nope.
I'd crash it.
It took the journey. Took the journey to get you there. Okay,
Yep.
Tyler, we're right at the very end here, but it was fun having you here. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Go out and give Tyler's coffee a try. Good for your health, good for your mind, good for your soul. Thanks, Tyler.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Take
Bye.
care, everyone. Bye.